Hello and welcome to the new season of the Drawn and Redrawn, the Making of India's Internal Boundaries podcast. This is a part of a larger India State Stories project that explores the evolution of India's political and administrative boundaries. This project is an undertaking by the Centre for Legislative Education and Research at Flame University in Pune. In this new season, we embark on a journey through the fascinating histories and narratives of each Indian state and union territories, exploring the pivotal events, influential personalities, and societal transformations that have shaped the subcontinent. In this 28th episode, we look at the fascinating story behind the formation of the southern state of Tamil Nadu. This episode is based on a corresponding article written by our team at India State Stories. These articles have been converted to audio conversations with the help of Google's Notebook LM. You can find the relevant article link in the show notes. Now, let's dive into the conversation.
The pride of those who have mastered Tamil never fades, but without it, suffering is like being lost in a foreign land.
Wow. That's a heavy way to start things off.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a quote from Thiruvalluvar. And it just perfectly frames what we're diving into today. We're looking at a map of India specifically, the southern state of Tamil Nadu, but not geography in the usual sense.
Yeah.
We're looking at how those lines on the map actually got there.
Right. Because when you look at an atlas, the borders seem so permanent, so inevitable, like they were always meant to be there. But the source materials we're looking at today, colonial records, political biographies from the 50s, they tell a much, much messier story.
A story written in invisible ink, you could say.
Or, to be blunt, written in blood and sacrifice.
Yeah. And that's our mission for this deep dive. We're going to unpack how this massive, unwieldy colonial bloc, the Madras Presidency, was carved up slice by slice, crisis by crisis, to finally create a home for Tamil.
One of the world's oldest languages. And it's not just a history lesson, right? It's a case study in identity. How do you draw a line around a culture? And what happens when the map doesn't match what's in people's heads?
So let's start at the beginning, the before picture. Let's talk about this colossus.
The Madras Presidency?
Just looking at the old colonial maps, this thing was a monster.
Monster is absolutely the right word. Administratively, it was a beast. If you took the Madras Presidency and laid it over a modern map, you're not just looking at Tamil Nadu.
Not even close.
You're swallowing up huge chunks of what we now call Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, Karnataka, even parts of Telangana and Odisha.
And the Lakshadweep Islands just thrown in there.
Exactly. It stretched from the southern tip of the continent all the way up the coast. It was just this sprawling, massive unit.
And that's not just land. We're talking about a huge diversity of people. You had people speaking Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, Kannada.
Tu, Oriya, all reporting to the same governor in Madras, which, from a British perspective, made total sense. They didn't care about cultural nuance.
No, it was about efficiency.
It was about tax collection and port access. Grouping everything around the hub of Madras was efficient for trade and for military control. Simple as that.
But for the people living there, it must have been a very different story.
Oh, a completely different story. It was a linguistic melting pot, sure, but not always a happy one. Think about the friction. You've got courts, schools, public records, all trying to operate in 5 or 6 different languages.
I'm guessing there was a kind of hierarchy, too. One group usually ends up with more influence.
Inevitably. The capital was Madras, which was a Tamil majority city, but the Telugu population in the north was huge and economically powerful. Everyone was basically a roommate in a house that was way too small.
Okay, so fast forward, 1947, the British leave, independence. You'd think the new Indian government would immediately fix this colonial relic.
You would. And people did assume that. I mean, the Indian National Congress had promised linguistic states way back in the 1920s.
So they were on board with the idea?
In principle, yes. But then reality hit. The partition of India had just happened. The country was incredibly fragile. Nehru and the other leaders were terrified that if they started redrawing borders based on language, the whole country could just, fracture.
They called it fissiparous tendencies.
Fissiparous, yeah. Great word. Basically the fear of splitting apart. So in 1950, when the Constitution comes in, the Madras Presidency just gets a new name. It becomes Madras State. But the borders,
they stay the same.
Almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
So you still have this pressure cooker. The British are gone, but the lines they drew are still there, and the heat is rising.
Specifically between the two biggest groups, the Tamils and the Telugus.
Right. And the Telugu leaders felt marginalized. They felt that with a state capital dominated by Tamils, their interests, their infrastructure, their education, it was all being sidelined. They wanted their own house. They wanted Andhra.
This wasn't just a quiet request, I take it.
Well, it started that way. Petitions, committees, speeches. The government in New Delhi kept stalling. They set up committees that basically said, yes, we agree in principle, but not right now. The time isn't right.
Not right now, only works for so long. And that brings us to the spark. This one individual, Potti Sriramulu.
A pivotal figure. And if you look at his bio, he's not what you'd expect. He was 51 years old, a former sanitary engineer.
A devout Gandhian.
He'd spent time at Gandhi's ashram, a man of immense discipline. And on October 19th, 1952, he decided to use the most potent weapon in the Gandhian arsenal against the new Indian government.
A fast unto death.
And we really need to pause on that. This wasn't a protest. He was publicly starving himself until his one demand was met: a separate state of Andhra.
But there was a major sticking point, wasn't there? A piece of real estate that was blocking the whole deal.
The city of Madras.
The bone of contention. Why was this one city so important?
It's hard to overstate it. Madras was the economic engine. It was the port, the university, the headquarters. The Telugu leaders argued, look, we helped build this city too. We have businesses here, a huge population. We're taking the capital with us.
And the Tamils said?
Absolutely not. Culturally, historically, Madras was the heart of the Tamil region. To lose Madras would be like France losing Paris. It was completely non-negotiable.
A total stalemate.
Into this stalemate steps Sriramulu. He starts his fast, a week goes by, 2 weeks, a month. The pressure on Prime Minister Nehru must have been immense.
But Nehru held firm.
He was stubborn. He didn't want to be, bullied by a fast. He thought if he gave in, everyone would start doing it.
The records say Sriramulu fasted for 58 days. That's almost 2 months without food.
It's an agonizing way to go. And on December 15, 1952, he passed away.
And the reaction wasn't just grief, it was absolute rage.
It was chaos. The Andhra region just exploded. Government offices were stormed, trains set on fire. The state basically lost control. It was an insurrection.
And violence, sadly, gets results.
In this case, it did. The government in Delhi realized the situation was ungovernable.
So how quickly did they fold?
2 days.
2 days, after all those years of stalling.
2 days after Sriramulu's death, Nehru announced the formation of Madras State.
But without Madras City.
Yes. The violence forced the creation of the state, but the logic on the city held. Madras stayed where it was. Andhra got its own state, with a new capital in Kurnool.
So his sacrifice worked. He got the state, but lost the city.
A bittersweet victory for sure. But it broke the dam. That was the first domino to fall. The map of South India couldn't stay the same after that?
Right, because now you've taken the top chunk off the Madras presidency, and what's left is this weird shape.
Exactly. You had these leftover pieces that didn't fit anymore. Take the Bellary district, for example.
That's inland.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was sort of stranded. It had a Kannada-speaking majority, so it couldn't stay with the Tamil state, and it didn't belong with the new Telugu state.
So it goes to Mysore.
Correct. In 1953, Bellary is transferred to Mysore state, which we now know as Karnataka.
Okay, so the map is getting trimmed. But the government must have realized they couldn't just keep doing this one piece at a time. They needed a system.
And that's where the State's Reorganization Commission comes in, the SRC. It was set up to look at the whole map of India and say, okay, let's do this properly. Let's draw lines based on language once and for all.
And their report in 1955 was basically a giant jigsaw puzzle exchange.
That's a great way to put it. They looked at the borders of the remaining Madras state and just started trading territories to make them more linguistically solid.
So who went where?
Well, on the west coast, you had the Malabar district, huge region, but predominantly Malayalam-speaking. The SRC said, this belongs with Travancore Cochin. Let's merge them to form the new state of Kerala.
That makes sense.
Then the Kasaragod Taluk, which was part of South Kannada, also went to Kerala.
So Madras State is shrinking fast. It's losing the north, the west. Was it getting anything back in this deal?
It was. This is the exchange part. Down in the south of Travancore Cochin, there were these Taluks, Thovala, Agastya-Swaram, and others that were overwhelmingly Tamil-speaking.
The Kanyakumari region.
Exactly, the southern tip. So those were transferred into Madras State. It was a consolidation, shed the non-Tamil areas, absorbed the Tamil areas.
And by November 1st, 1956, the new map is set.
The dust settles. And the redrawn Madras State, If you looked at that map, you'd recognize it. It's the shape of modern Tamil Nadu.
So mission accomplished, right? The map is drawn, the people are united by language.
Geographically, yes, but there was a ghost in the machine.
A name.
The name. It was still called Madras State.
Which feels like a technicality. I mean, it's just a label.
It felt colonial, and it felt like the whole state was defined by one city. For the Tamil people, who have this incredible literary history stretching back millennia, Madras just didn't capture the soul of the land.
They wanted Tamil Nadu.
The land of the Tamils. It's a powerful statement. It says, we are a homeland, not just an administrative zone.
And the government was reluctant.
Bureaucracy loves the status quo. Changing a name is complicated, it's expensive, and frankly, Delhi didn't see why it mattered so much.
This brings us to a second martyr, a name that's less well known, Sankara Linganar.
He's often overlooked, which is a tragedy because his sacrifice was just as profound. He was a 76-year-old freedom fighter.
Another Gandhian.
In 1956, the same year the borders were finalized, he started a fast. His demand was simple: rename the state Tamil Nadu.
Sriramulu lasted 58 days. How long did Sankara Linganar last?
76 days.
76. That's unfathomable.
He died on October 13th, 1956, demanding that his land be called by its proper name.
But his death didn't trigger the change instantly like Sriramulu's did.
No, and that's the tragic part. The Congress government in the state was in a tough spot. They didn't want to be seen as giving in to pressure, and there were some internal debates about whether Tamil Nadu sounded too separatist. Remember that fear of the country breaking apart? Nadu can be translated as country. So the country of Tamils made some people in Delhi very nervous.
So Sankara Linganar died, and the name stayed. That must have just festered.
It did. It became a powerful rallying cry. It laid the moral foundation for the opposition party, the DMK.
Led by C.N. Annadurai.
Yes, Anna. He understood the power of cultural pride. The DMK made the renaming of the state a central part of their platform. They argued that Madras State was a mark of servitude and Tamil Nadu was a reclamation of dignity.
Yeah, it worked.
Brilliantly. In the 1967 elections, the DMK swept to power. It was a huge political shift. And one of the first things Annadurai did as chief minister was fulfill that promise.
The State Assembly passed the resolution unanimously in July 67.
Unanimously. The public sentiment was just too strong. Sankara Linganar's sacrifice had finally borne fruit politically.
But it still took a little while for the central government to ratify it.
Legal processes, you know. But on January 14th, 1969, it was official. Madras State was history. Tamil Nadu was born.
And that date, January 14th, that wasn't a coincidence.
No, highly symbolic. It was Pongal.
The harvest festival.
Right. Pongal is the Tamil festival. It's about the soil, the sun, the harvest. Choosing that day was like saying, this isn't just paperwork. It's an offering to the land itself. It connected the political act back to the culture.
So when we zoom out, we start with this colonial block drawn for convenience. And through decades of struggle, 2 horrific fasts, and a ton of political maneuvering, we end up with a state defined by its own people in its own language.
It's a journey from being subjects of an empire to being citizens of a homeland.
And that strong identity seems to have paid off. Tamil Nadu today is an industrial powerhouse.
Oh, absolutely. Automobiles, tech, some of the best social indicators in the country. It's hard to separate that success from this history. When a government speaks the language of the people, literally, it's just more effective.
It's a powerful argument for federalism, really. That letting regions define themselves actually strengthens the whole nation.
Exactly. The fear was that linguistic states would break India apart. I think the reality is linguistic states probably saved India. It gave everyone a secure stake in the union.
Before we wrap, I just want to go back to that map on our phones. We see the dotted line between Tamil Nadu and Kerala. We just drive across it.
We take it for granted.
But those lines, they aren't just geography. I keep thinking about Sriramulu and Sankara Linganar. Every one of those borders is a scar that's healed over.
That's a powerful way to put it. A map is just history frozen in place.
So here's something for you to think about today. Look at the map of where you live. Who drew those lines? And what invisible stories of struggle or compromise or sacrifice are hiding right underneath them?
It's worth exploring because the map wasn't just given to us, it was made.
Thanks for diving deep with us today.
Thank you.
We'll catch you on the next one.